everyone, and welcome to free YouTube keyword research tools that can help you earn more views on YouTube. If you do not know what keyword research is, you're in for a treat. YouTube, if you didn't know, is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. Today, we're going to show you how you can do research to see if there's any interest in what your audience is searching for so you can make content. Whether they're searching for it or it is just relevant in the lexicon of the world, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, we're really going to get started, and we're going to get started right away. So if you've never done keyword research, we're going to talk about what it is, how it can help you, as well as something just as important, how you can do it for free. So the first thing we're going to do, you'll notice that I'm on my YouTube channel. Some of what we're going to show today is available to you for free through YouTube themselves, as well as some stuff. After this live stream, or if you're watching the replay, the links to everything we're using is in the description. The first one we're going to be using is Google Trends. Now, Google Trends is based on, as you see here, explore what United States is searching for right now. You can see things here. There are many things that might be trending. You can dive deeper. Right now, at the time of the stream, holiday shopping makes sense, made with trends, Trends TV, intro to trends. There's a lot of different data here, but specifically for YouTube, I want to make sure that we're looking for things that make sense, right? So one thing that I have been asked for a lot more lately is how to make a YouTube thumbnail. So we're going to look up that. Now, you're going to notice some different data points, and I'm going to quickly adjust my screen share here so you guys can see this just a little bit easier. Now, the different data points you're going to see here are kind of things like where it is in the world, things like that. And it is important that we quickly do that so that we can show what people are searching for, right? So right off the bat, we have United States. Maybe I want to make this a worldwide search, right? That makes more sense. Now, I want to go from past day. I can go for past hour, past 4 hours. You might see a little bit of interest. You really do have a lot of data we can play around with here. So past 7 days, we can see that this spikes, but keep in mind, this is global. We're going worldwide here. Pitbull, move over. We have all categories, so if we want, we can go deeper. But right now we're doing web search, and this is YouTube keyword research. Again, this is free to use. If you are watching, whether this is live or the replay, please follow along. We can go from image search, news search, Google Shopping, or YouTube search, and that is what I want to do. And if we look at YouTube search worldwide, it's a lot different compared to when we had that global view. Now, this is our first intro to keyword research. Now, I want to make sure, because this is something I see wrong, and a lot of people get it wrong. Keyword research is only letting you know if there's interest in a topic you want to talk about. The thing is, keyword research, when you do it right and you include it in your title, in the video itself, the transcript, what that's going to do for you is give you an idea if there's interest, and you can see that interest in impressions. It doesn't necessarily convert one-to-one to views. That is a huge mistake that I've seen people make. It's something that I don't think I've been clear enough about in the past, and I'm making sure I rectify that now, is that just because you do keyword research, it doesn't mean it'll get you views, it'll get you impressions. And based on your title, your thumbnail, all those things put together, that's how you get views, because impressions with a thumbnail, that's impressions click-through rate, that's what gets you to views. Keyword research tells you if there's interest in this, how much interest is it. It doesn't make sense for you to talk about. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I just wanted to make sure I'm very clear off the bat that we do not miss that point, because it's so important. Now, weird, some of my lights went off. Hello, everyone. Good to see the Mary Lou crew. Great to see a lot of familiar faces. Love this subject. Absolute nerd, says Stanley Orchard. I am seeing Tech Fariana. Just want to make sure we're getting a Mary Lou raid. Yes, Andrew K, give us all your secrets. How do you settle trends that are long-term versus trending for just a short term? I love this question. We'll get to it in a bit. I'll start to make sure we can bring that up again. But we're getting a lot more people joining us, and I want to make sure we're doing it. So I see from Beanie, yeah, impressions only get people to your door, but you need the door to be inviting. Absolutely. So one thing I would keep in mind as we're going through this, right? A lot of these trends, if you're deciding if these are, good long-term or good short-term trends, and maybe I should zoom in just a bit more. I want to make sure we're still, the problem when you do this, you got to update your stuff, right? But it's okay. I'd rather you see more of the stream than me. Now, what I'm looking at here is I am going through with this is I want to make sure that all these data points, right? Because this is something I saw in my audience. There was interest here. And because there was interest here, if I look the interest over time, how do we decide if something makes sense long-term or short-term, right? 90 days, if we look at it, well, I can see over 90 days that there are times on particular, maybe more holiday-related times where we have huge drops, right? On October 31st, Halloween, makes sense that there's less interest. But overall, this isn't bad. Now, how can we read this? There's a little tooltip. Numbers represent search interest relative to the highest point of the chart for the given region and time. A value of 100 is the peak popularity for the term. A value of 50 means that the term is half as popular. A score of 0 means there was not enough data, there's not enough people searching for this thing. So as we're going through here, right, this is free. You can be doing this right now with me. And in fact, if you want me to look up a term for you, let's do it. Let's dive deep. Now, for me, the question is, how do I know, what does this make sense in the short term and long term? This right now is very popular. Now, there might have been a couple of spikes, and I'm sure if I compare this to YouTube A/B testing, because, YouTube just added some stuff, we might see there's some interest because A/B testing just went live recently. But overall, how to make a YouTube thumbnail is more popular and more searched than YouTube A/B testing. So maybe there's a way in my title I could say how to make a YouTube thumbnail for free and be A/B test ready, right? So that way I could talk about those two things at once. While there's budding interest in A/B testing, the overall larger term is how to make a YouTube thumbnail, right? And these, again, if we go to Google search or web search, we're going to see different results. I'm also worldwide. Maybe I want to target an audience. Maybe I want to focus on my viewers in the UK. Shout outs if you're watching from the UK, by the way. So you can see that it's different than when it's global, right? And so right now it's saying in England, how to add a thumbnail to a YouTube video is being searched. So maybe that, if I click on that, we have different results. If I click back here, we have our other two terms. Another thing I could do is if I wanted to, keep this one, I could say add it to the comparison. So now we are comparing all three of these, and I could maybe go worldwide. So this is how, again, started very niche, very specific, but now we're back to that worldwide audience. And you see how to add a YouTube thumbnail over the last 90 days changes to worldwide. And these are all things that we're doing together. All of this is free. So it's really easy. Great to see you, Drew Kavanaugh. Great to see you. It's great to see you. Great to see you, Mary Lou. So, as we're doing this, cheers for Birmingham, UK. Cheers. Lucky it's a topic that actually gets enough searches to begin with. That's another interesting point, and I want to make sure that we talk about that, right? And this is some hard truth. Sometimes a video you want to make, you might just be making it for you. Now, that is okay if you are okay with only you and a very few amount of people watching it. Maybe you have some subscribers who will watch every single thing you do. Reality, most subscribers don't watch everything we do, and that's okay. If only views are coming from subscribers, you'd be surprised how few actually tune in. So, if you're doing keyword research and a video you want to talk about has very low interest, you have to understand that if you made a video that only you wanted to make, do not be surprised if it is only you watching. I can't stress that enough. It is so important that we talk about it. Because I also see, well, I did keyword research and I saw that no one was looking for it, but I wanted to make the video. And that's fine. I hear that all the time. The answer is, if it is only you who wanted that video to be made, you cannot be surprised when it is only you watching it. I've made this mistake, and maybe I've found some more clever ways to title it to help it still reach what I was trying to do. But I think it's a very honest and a real thing that happens to creators. And let me know, have you ever made a video that you kind of knew was only for you? And maybe it surprised you. I'd love those stories too. But more likely than not, if you made it only for you, you can't be surprised if it's only you watching. Now, one thing I do to ensure that I am keeping up with, different trends and different ways to do things is through Google Trends. And again, this is absolutely free. It's trends.google.com. You can also see what's trending now, right? You can select your location. I could do United States. I could do worldwide. I could, change this up a bit. I actually think maybe for this one, they don't let me do worldwide. Sorry, Pitbull. Not a fireball for us today. But I'll just do United States because it's identified that as my location. We'll switch to that. I want to make sure that I can change for past 4 hours. Maybe there's some breaking news in the States. I know at 4 p.m. PT today that they're doing the Game Awards. If you're watching this in the future, that's different. Notice YouTube in our Google Trends, similar to YouTube, defaults by relevancy. You could also change this by search volume. I don't see a lot of people talk about this. You can see search volume here on some of these trends, right? Now, if I do past 24 hours, if I am a basketball channel and I want to talk about the Spurs versus Lakers, there's about 200,000 people in the past 24 hours who've searched for this. You can also, sort by this, right? So lottery, Powerball, jackpot, if I'm talking about that, there's 200K, but you might notice, as we get down here, there could be less, right? Trends have shelf lives. So past 7 days, right? Some of these might make sense to have talked about, like if there's an Eagles game coming up or I want to talk about it, there's a million, but it was really, active yesterday. This one was active yesterday. You really need to see when it was active too. Because another mistake, and I see this one a lot, if you're doing keyword research, you need to act as soon as you possibly can with all of your unique creator differences and all the differences that are in your life, right? Like for me, I live stream on Thursdays. So talking about things in real time in a live stream is a little bit easier. But if there's something I'm really passionate about and it's trending and it has a shelf life, try to, as humanly possible, make as good a video as possible, give it all the time it needs, and make sure you can give it the effort. And don't just, spend so much time on the video, you half-ass the title, you might half-ass the description, you might half-ass what you say in the video. Don't do that. Spend the time it needs, but also be aware that when it comes to trends or any keyword research, do your best to do it within a 28-day windows. There's a reason why, and we'll get to this in a second, that YouTube's own data says over the last 28 days. Because sometimes when you make a video, well, I did keyword research. Yeah, that was trending 3 months ago. If I were to make a Halloween video, not the movie, but the season in March, I've missed the window, or arguably I'm early for the upcoming season. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to trends, if it's your first time talking about the trend, your audience isn't prepared for it. Building an idea season over season, having that consistency in the content helps it do better. So when it does trend again, your content can show up. In fact, that happened to me very recently because YouTube, when they put up their A/B testing feature, how to make YouTube thumbnails did very well. Why we started that at the top. Half of my videos were made for me, says Beanie. So that's an interesting thing. I made videos that people didn't know they need to watch. That's also difficult, but you have to think. You knew a solution to a problem. How do you find what they're asking? That's a unique thing you can do in keyword research. The delicate balance between not half-assing it and spending too long. Absolutely. And here's the thing, a lot of times that can happen, and it's normal for us as creators. I have been guilty of it. I'm not perfect of it. I don't want to sit here and say that I haven't spent way too long on something that didn't even matter, right? So I think it's important. Hello there. Happy to have you here. I also think, as we're looking at the different things and we're talking about these things, keyword research for a lot of people can be this kind of, they know they need to do it, but they don't know why, and they struggle with it, right? So knowing the search volume here, especially if you're in the past 48 hours, it can go very far. Supergirl, right? If I'm into superhero content or I do comic book stuff, Supergirl's doing pretty well right now. As you can see, Supergirl, 100K search volume. Yesterday it was the most active. We can click in also to a trend, and we can see this is trending upward. 48 hours ago, 28 to now, pretty high. Pretty good time if I can make a video within this day to do it. Guess what? Here are search terms people are searching for. If these are relevant to what you're talking about, make them tags, make them actual points that you talk about in your video, right? So if I were to talk about this one, Millie Alcock has been cast as Supergirl. The Supergirl trailer has just come out, and I'm so excited for Supergirl 2026. Now, this official teaser trailer is going to tell us so much about the film, so let's start watching. Seeing that hook, I did not plan that, but I see talking points. I see interests that people are searching for. And this is the thing, everyone. YouTube uses transcripts. They use AI to understand what we're saying in videos to match the title we put in our videos, or technically it's down there now. Depends how you see this and what platform. They match our description. They do kind of look at tags, but mostly for misspellings are not as relevant as they once were. And in fact, if you're spending all the time in tags and not the content itself, that's the miss. You should include those keywords organically in those first 30 seconds because that's the hook. That's when you need to get them there. And you see what I did there with the Supergirl movie trailer, which I wasn't even planning to talk about. I just happen to be a Superman fan. Fun fact. That's a Superman poster that my friend Joe got me. Shout outs to Joe. Sometimes he watches these. I see I'm in that right now, been, cramming research on something that is trending. So that happens a lot, Debonair Dylan. Like a lot of times you try to shoehorn in a trend because you know it's trending, but you rush it. And sometimes, it's the opposite. I barely spent any time on that video, and I've heard this one too. I barely spent time on it, but I knew it like the back of my hand. It happened to trend at the time, and the video took off. There are two sides to this coin. I'm just trying to prep you to be ready for it when it comes, because it will come, and it comes fast, and you better be ready for trends, because that's the game. Now, keyword research, one good thing is if you see over the year, for example, on trends, a lot of them can have longevity. It doesn't have to be just an endless wheel of suffering. Some people find, keyword research that. I mean, it doesn't have to be. One thing you can do, as we're looking here, we clicked on this, so I want to explore it in trends. This is based on the web search. I'm sure if we look at YouTube, Supergirl has, it spiked. And if we go over the last, 12 months, we can really see a long term. And one of the questions we had is, how do I know if a video makes sense to do in the short term and the long term? Supergirl for this year really wasn't that popular, right? There was a little bit of buzz in July. Let's think about July this year. We kind of had Superman, so Supergirl showed up in that. So I'm sure more people were searching. But when the trailer came, right, if you make content around this point and you kept kind of talking about Supergirl and Superman, boom, when this is ready, you have seeded it to your audience. You have planted that idea in their heads that that's something you talk about. And as you do things like that, they might come back for your content and your take. You got to be ready for the moment too. And that's how you can kind of future plan. Now, I haven't seen anyone give me their keyword research terms here. So if you'd like, I absolutely can do that. But, we looked at different ways you can see that. You can also, like I said, trending now is super helpful. If you're in a different country, select the country that makes sense for you. If you're trying to see actual search volume, make sure you're searching by search volume. And it'll tell you the percent of interest, right? These are all things we can use in our disposal. And I haven't paid a cent for any of this. You can also, compare. Let's say there's multiple things here. I mentioned the Game Awards earlier. Makes sense it's showing up. If there are multiple things, if I want to talk about, Time Person of the Year, I want to talk about, Taylor Swift and Stephen Colbert, I could compare these, and that's very easy to do. But again, this is Google Trends. Very easy to use, free, and available to all of us to use. And if you're watching the replay, it'll be in the description down below. Now, another thing I would keep in mind as we are doing this is that keywords in SEO, like Stanley says, are valuable for any type of video. If you do a thing and that was worth filming, it's worth optimizing for future viewers to find should they need it. Absolutely. And here's the thing. One thing I will also tell you, and I see this, is can I re-optimize a video? What happens if I re-optimize a YouTube video? If you're trying to re-optimize a YouTube video, here's the thing. YouTube already, depends when you're trying to do it. With A/B testing, a newer feature we talked about a little bit earlier, you can A/B test multiple titles, different keyword combinations, as long as they're relevant to your video. And again, when you are coming to titles from keyword research only shows you interest. You still have to craft a title that is not only search friendly and keyword optimized, but compelling. And that is where so many people get lost. Their titles are not compelling. They are just what they are. And so this is something I actually, and I'll talk about this because Tech Fariana is here. Wow, that's a great resource and free. Yes, it's a great resource from Google Trends and free. But this is something I talked to Tech Fariana in our membership about, right? Because if you don't know that a title not only needs to be search friendly, but it also needs to be compelling. A lot of great YouTubers do a great job of doing this seamlessly. And when you do it seamlessly, you don't even realize it's that searchable. Now, some YouTubers like the Mr. Beasts of the world, they only focus on compelling, and that is a skill. There are visceral reactions that titles can, absolutely give and get people to click. Some people, like if I think of my friends at Creator Hooks Pro, shout out to, Jake and all what he's working on, he calls them click triggers. They, get people to act. They trigger people to click and watch through to the video. And again, impressions, click-through rate, and views do not explain how good the video it is. It just shows you how many people viewed it. And it still matters for Shorts. I know Shorts has its own feed, but people discount that Shorts can still show up in search. In fact, I have a few friends and channels that are very search friendly and forward for shorts. And yeah, it'll do okay in the shorts feed, but it really blows up. And I'm talking millions of views on shorts, all because of the keyword research they did. Now, we showed off Google Trends. What's next, Andrew? I'm glad you asked, hypothetically. The next thing we're going to show is in our Google Analytics. I've talked about it in the past. I love this part, but it is the Trends tab. If you do not know how to get to the Trends tab in YouTube, here's how we're going to do it, right? So I want to make sure that we are just ultimately, and I want to make sure that I am just giving you the full screen so you can follow along. If you want to know how to get to the Trends tab, all you got to do is we're going to expand this. Go to studio.youtube.com. Analytics, instead of overview, content, audience, revenue, click on the Trends tab. This is another absolutely free feature. You should definitely use it, and it's worth using. So now that we have this, we can get ideas for our next YouTube video. And in fact, I'm going to zoom in once more. Ooh, I can zoom in quite a bit. I think we start losing it here. But now, the thing about the Trends tab is they tell you that more video inspiration and ideas have moved to inspiration, but this is also used to get ideas for your next video. I have saved 191. I've made a lot of these videos. One thing I wish it had is completed videos or a way that I could do it again. I've given this feedback to YouTube. If you ever want to give feedback to YouTube, under me, you should see the send feedback button. That's how you do it. But this tells you what people are looking for your unique YouTube channel. Now, if you're brand new, you may not have anything for you, but you can still get ideas by searching above here. Cool thing about this is it works by typing YouTube. Same way if I type in YouTube just in the search bar here. So again, YouTube here gives me a little bit more. So YouTube Wrapped is a newer thing, the YouTube Recap maybe. YouTube Rewind is in the news recently because YouTube recently unlisted a bunch of the YouTube Rewinds at the time of this recording. I hope they bring them back, but I do not know. YouTube Kids, YouTube Shorts. So this is another way you can do keyword research. These search predictions are interest from audience, right? So if we go back to this, we can see YouTube. We can see different ideas. This is a great way to do it. But this is for my audience, how to create videos for YouTube channel. And the cool part about this is, one, I'm going to save this because I should. Two, I can see what this says. Your viewers' interest is high. Many of your viewers, have been watching videos about this topic in the last 28 days. I mentioned this earlier. There is a shelf life to this. If I make this video 4 months from now, it may do well. However, what it is telling me is there's an interest and it's been brewing over the last 28 days. So I should probably try, if I can, and reasonably do so, fit this in, like that's what it's trying to tell me. If I can do it, it's great. If I can't, well, that's a different story. I'm going to try to do it, of course, but it's one of those situations where I'm doing my best here to make videos that are interesting my audience right now. Great, happy Friday, Doug. Hi, Dimmy. Seeing a bunch of things. I am seeing from, Tech Fairy Anna. She's saying, mine are not very compelling. I'm glad I realized that. Hey, every winner is once a beginner and we can get there. I see from Stanley, ooh, I had a game winner shorts video that popped in search. Very worth optimizing, made 10 times the revenue of a similar short that popped in the shorts feed. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Now, the cool thing about this is because this one is based more on, the actual interest of my audience and your audience, there are other things I can see here, right? So because this topic has been watched, I can learn more. If I ever need to learn more, it explains what this is. I love that they do this. I'm unfortunately covering it, but you can do this on your own. Another thing I can look at is, how to create a YouTube channel my audience is interested in. As we get into the new year, people are going to wonder, how do I make a YouTube channel? How do I make a video for a YouTube channel? How do I upload videos on a channel, right? And then it gives me what people have watched. So there's some from vidIQ, there's some from Vince Opera, Kevin Colby, this makes sense. So if I want to, not only can I do that, if I click show all here, and again, this is all free, we have different ways. And now here's the thing where people tend to get confused. And I've seen this as well. I want to go ahead, and if you don't know what this tool is, it's Tube Spanner. It's a pretty good tool, pretty useful. Helps you see more stuff. So I want to need to make this bigger and change this up just a bit. Ooh, this is on me more so than anything. Let's go to the search. Too zoomed. So, how to make videos for YouTube channel. You know, that has, if we look here, high volume. Some search terms have low volume. Some search terms have medium volume. Well, what does that mean? What's the difference? I'm glad you asked once again, hypothetically. I'm not talking to myself. There's actively a chat, but I appreciate you all for watching live, and I appreciate you in the replay. But here's the main thing, right? As I'm looking here, when it is a high search volume, go back to the Google Trends, right? They're all owned by YouTube and Google, by Alphabet. When it is high volume search, that means there's a high interest in this term for you. How to upload videos, and you should definitely heart them and save them for later. These are different ways to make the same video. How to create a YouTube channel is going to be different than how to make a video for a YouTube channel and how to upload videos on YouTube. I should make this a series, right? First, you need a channel. Then you need to, understand how to make the video, and then you need to know how to upload it. So all of a sudden, I see the interest of my audience go from 1 to 2 to 3. And because it's all high volume, I have a high chance of these videos doing well. Because again, keyword research does not guarantee me success. It guarantees there's interest on platform, and it is my job to steer the conversation with my title, my thumbnail, my packaging, the way I share it, the way I discuss it live, and all the features in YouTube, shorts, live streams, etc. to get that point across. Now, as I say all that, the next one is if I did how to make a YouTube channel upload videos, it's going to have lower search volume because that's now trying to stuff 2 ideas into one. Where if I made this a series, it's a little better and it's low volume. High volume, I shoot for medium volume to high volume. Low volume's not bad. It just needs a little bit more time. It could be very niche. It doesn't mean it's not valuable. And like we saw with Supergirl in Trends, it could pick up over time. Now, what I love is content gaps. If you don't know what this is, these are where YouTube's identified that this is an interest, a need. There's not a lot of content, right? So how to make a new YouTube account. Makes sense. A lot of people already have one. They think, why does someone need to make this? But someone has to. Create an account on YouTube. People are learning how to make a new YouTube account more so than creating one according to the volume and for gaps. But then even here, it shows that this is a gap for YouTube Shorts, right? So this one has a content gap for Shorts. This one is just a normal one, new YouTube channel vlog, how to use video content gap, start video YouTube content gap, video vlog content gap. Some of these kind of get why there's a gap. Some of these are too broad, arguably, but that doesn't mean they're not valuable. It just means they're broad. Great to see you, English Fun Zone. How to make a YouTube channel was a breakout in the Google search trends too. Again, if you're wondering why things like that are trending right now, trends are also contextual based on the time of year. A lot of people's New Year resolution is to create a YouTube channel. If you want to start a YouTube channel in the next year, you got to really think of these different things, right? Because that's going to be different. If you are an arts channel like Beanie Draws, and maybe I'm trying to finally learn how to draw, or maybe I'm learning English like English Fun Zone, who is here, or maybe I'm trying to fix up my place. Home Rapid Repair and the chat's got me here. YouTube and Google pointing to each other is so meta. No. Meta is Facebook. I see the no. I know what I mean, but it is definitely not accidental. Not quite deathbed, but felt like it there for a while. Chantel, glad you're feeling better. Also, since Chantel is starting to feel better, I just have a simple, where's the course? Where's the course, Chantel? Where is it? We're waiting. If you don't know, you can always ask Chantel. She loves this question. Be sure to ask her, where is the course? We are looking for it. We're waiting for it. Happy you are feeling better, though. In all seriousness, though, as we're looking at these different trends, it's important to remember that just because there's an interest today doesn't guarantee its interest tomorrow. YouTube says in the last 28 days, you should, if you're putting off a Google or a YouTube trend or a blog post trend, and you're using the inspiration tab, or you're using the trends tab, or you're using Google Trends, here's the thing. Make sure to recheck it before you film it. I can't tell you how many times this has saved me from, like, I was going to do an idea and I'm like, oh, I remember this idea. Wait, is it still relevant? And it, in December, very high. I made that video or thinking about it in April. It was actually low because, people are in the year. Their goal setting is different. So remember that all these trends are based on where people are in the year. New year, people want to try new things. Around April, most people have fallen off, unfortunately. That's not me. That's a lot of statistics. Look at how many people start wanting to lose weight at the beginning of the year and how many are there at the end. And then they start it all over again. I see from English Fun Zone, English trends are difficult for me to figure out. Grammar, punctuation, or just making fun of other teachers, which I wouldn't do. Yes, because learning English is definitely a skill most people need. But what I will tell you is a lot of people want to learn at the beginning of the year, beginning of the overall year, beginning of school years, beginning of just semester breaks, things like that. Sometimes people want a refresh. So maybe you're not looking at trends in like specific topics, but you're looking at trends in viewer interest. And that's when maybe if you are going to be making content, right? It doesn't always need to be, a trending topic. It could just be a topic that's done really well for your audience. And because historically it's done well, make a follow-up, make a series, right? And if we go back to what we're looking at here, we go back to this. This right here is my 1. This is my, 2. And this is my 3. How to make and create a YouTube channel, how to make videos, how to upload. And then I could do a 4, which I easily could do for me, which is thumbnails, right? And we know that there's interest in that. And we're not done here. When I look, I can also see other things my audience is interested in. How YouTube channel monetize. Very low interest. So this wouldn't make a good sense for me, but there is people looking for it, right? How to monetize a YouTube channel has high volume. But my viewers specifically says few of your viewers have been watching videos about this topic. Not a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind for me. So there is high volume overall, but my viewers haven't shown a lot of interest in it. Doesn't guarantee it won't do well. It's just something to consider. Now, you can also, if you notice, this is something that's newer and it is from Ask Studio, which is a new tool. One thing you could do, and I've been experimenting with this too, I see there's high interest here. I can ask Studio, we're getting really meta. How could I make a video on this topic? And let's see what it says. So we're now into another tool, which is Ask Studio. I've done a whole live stream on Ask Studio. You can check out the card on screen if you want to see that out. If you're watching the replay, I will say though, I'm now asking, how could I make a video on this topic to create videos for my YouTube channel? And it's saying that. That's a fantastic topic, given your channel, Andrew Can, specializes in providing actionable tips and deep dives into YouTube growth, SEO, and production. As seen in your videos like YouTube corrections, correct grammar mistakes on YouTube videos smart way, better audio in YouTube videos, 5-view tip. Your audience is clearly looking for practical, high-value content. Instead of a general how-to, I suggest focusing on a specific high-impact phrase. So it's saying the pre-production. And it's giving me stuff. So the suggested title, Steal My Video Planning Checklist, go from idea to script in 30 minutes. And that's pretty freaking good. And it gives me an outline. I could do production, stop filming in the dark, 3 cheap lighting hacks for professional YouTube videos. Not bad. The editing technique, the one editing technique YouTubers use to triple watch time. Maybe I could talk about this, but it's not bad. And it's something I could use to help me come up with more ideas. And that is just another free tool in YouTube, though this one is in beta and not available to everyone just yet. Goes to show you how we have one idea, That was the best Millie Mays, impression, AK. YouTube AI recommends videos I've already done. Because here's the thing. I see this critique. a lot, and it's not a bad thing. Not every single person in your YouTube subscriber list has seen every single video you've done. They recommend you revitalize it because, one, on average, it takes people 7 times for them to get a concept or a topic, right? So to you, you may have already made it, but to a brand new set of your audience, you should go to that individual video. Check how many of your viewers were new, returning, or casual viewers, because that's another stat you can look at. It's very important to understand the difference between those 3. and make sure that it makes sense. If you don't feel that topic, I'm not telling you to do things you're not proud or don't want to do. I'm saying if it makes sense for you and you still have interest in it, right? Like a topic I never get tired of is talking about YouTube or all the stuff we're talking about right now. I love this stuff. But there's only so many things maybe you could say about compound sentences when it comes to English, or maybe maybe you're doing onomatopoeia and you don't really have a lot of things to talk about. I get it. So everything is different there. Ask Studio is US only, I believe, says Doug. That's very important to know. Mary Lou says, ooh, that's new. I don't have the very low interest from viewers note. I mean, that just depends on what you look up. So maybe you're just looking up like high value keywords that people always want to see from you, Mary Lou. If you're not already, you should check out the Mary Lou Mafia. Really great group she has over there. So do the video again. Why not? Yeah, if you can. And if you're passionate about it, you really should. Hello, Really Acid. Hello. Happy to have you here with us. So we have talked about this pretty extensively, at least in the trends tab. And this, again, do not make the mistake. These are not just for YouTube videos. These could also be for shorts. They could be for live streams. They could even be for community posts. You could say, hey, I want to talk to you about how you can create YouTube videos for your channel. It could be a very informative text post. And now the next thing I want to show, we showed off how to get here. What if I want to brainstorm ideas and I want to show off the inspiration tab? Let's go ahead and do that. So if you don't know how to get to the inspiration tab in your YouTube studio, click on content, inspiration. Once again, to get there, in studio.youtube.com, click on the content tab, then click on the inspiration tab. They have recently redone the inspiration tab. Now, why am I upset about this? My video finally started popping up against the YouTube inspiration tab, and YouTube changed it. But I get to talk about it again because I actually really like a lot of the changes, and because the other video is not doing bad, I could just update and push in the pinned comment and the cards and the end screen what has changed, because a lot of the info might be similar, but they now show it in a different way. All good things. So that's how you get to the inspiration tab if you didn't know how to do it. Very important that we talk about it. I want to show you brainstorm a video idea that's going to open our inspiration tab. It's now working on it, and we're going to see it work on it. It's exploring ideas. Now, keep in mind, this does use AI, and AI can make mistakes. YouTube is very upfront with this. But again, this comes from interest our audience shows us. It's showing different ways we could, tackle this if we want. So right here, small tweak, big impact, optimizing old videos for new views. We literally talked about that. The AI-powered script, how writing YouTube videos fast, beyond keywords, crafting titles. Maybe this is a follow-up live stream I do. I actually really kind of like this idea in concept. But here's the problem I have with some of the new changes. It's telling me a small part of my viewers watch similar content. My whole thing, which they really kind of fine-tuned in the old one, is it didn't show me low-interest stuff. But here it tends to. So while the info is interested, it does tell me 3 reasons I should. So it enhances my core audience need, it leverages my unique expertise, and it aligns with practical solutions, which are all things I care about. But I don't want content ideas that only a small part of my audience could, be interested in. And interesting enough, elevating beyond more keywords, we're discussing how to craft titles. It's giving me this. It's saying, just as we learned growing TubeBuddy, so it's smart enough to know that I helped grow the TubeBuddy YouTube channel. That's crazy. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, speaking of the TubeBuddy YouTube channel, if you didn't know, today at the time of the live stream, December 11th, marks 10 years ago where I started my TubeBuddy journey, and I've been having this beautiful opportunity to learn YouTube and grow and content creation and talk to all of you about it. And I do not take that lightly. 10 years ago, I started at TubeBuddy. I was there for 5.5 years. I helped grow their YouTube channel from 6,000 when I started on to over 500,000 subscribers. And since then, I've had the pleasure of being on some incredible teams. I've had the opportunity to be on teams that have earned gold play buttons, even diamond play buttons. And that work ethic I have, I bring to you. And because I've been able to do it, goes back to my core thing, that if I can, you can too. And so I just wanted to thank you. If you've been watching me from the TubeBuddy days to today, if you didn't know I was a TubeBuddy, that's fine too. Thank you. I would not be here without all of you. I really appreciate it. It has been the honor of my life to be able to do YouTube as long as I have and still have this passion for it. And if you are here, thank you. Didn't think I'd get that deep on just a keyword research thing. So that's just something I did not expect, right? And also idioms from what we were talking about. Remake 100%, revisit your greatest hits. It's recently out in Canada, New Zealand, and India for Ask Studio. Great to know. I also see from Ike, only knew because someone in Canada said they got it now. Another thing is reality check. If you're not getting, your trying to see what this says. Sorry, I'm looking. I can just go full screen. If you're not getting good recs here, you may not create enough content, or now this really is a good reality check. So you may not, be creating enough content. You're confusing the recommendation engine. Well, let's replace recommendation engine the way YouTube does. You're confusing your audience, and it's trying to the algorithm follows the audience, and all that means is that YouTube is trying to serve the people watching. It's trying to serve your viewers, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Welcome is right, says for Doug. I am glad to have known you a long part of that now. Thank you, Chantel Hills. We are so lucky. Thank you, Mary Lou. That means a lot. I just asked Ask Studio which I should double down on based on CTR. That's a really good idea. I see this. That's to your thank you. Oh, thank you, Beanie. So again, I've had a long, the tools we have today, and I mean this, I wish we had this kind of tool when I started YouTube. When I started YouTube, we didn't have click-through rate data. I was flying blind with millions of YouTubers. And so everything we have today is really good. Now, because this is low interest, I have to be aware that only a small part of my viewers watch similar content. It doesn't mean none of them, just a small part. So if I save this idea, I can do that here. I could also say helpful or not interested. Maybe I don't want to make this video because maybe it's like English Fun Zone said, it's my idioms and I don't have much to say here, but maybe I do. I could say this is helpful, but for me, it's not. I'm not interested. This is where I would say a third option. It could just be it's not that I'm not interested, but I don't want low search terms, right? But let's say I am. Despite it all, I do think the idea beyond keywords, crafting titles, and thumbnails that demand clicks, I think maybe if I focus on one over the other, it'd probably do better. But again, this is AI. It can't be wrong. Develop this idea. Let's see what it says. What if I told you the secret to YouTube growth isn't just great content? It's about mastering the art, and I see that I'm in the way. So let's update the stream. So I want to make sure, this is just me being a little more helpful here. I want to make sure that I'm not too in the way, but you guys can still see everything. Should be fine now. So here's what we have, right? So what if I told you, this is what it's telling me, outline the psychological hook, why people click, unpack curiosity gaps, the human need to know more. Interesting. Gives thumbnail ideas, gives titles beyond keywords, title and thumbnails that demand clicks, craft click-worthy titles for YouTube success. Again, I'd probably myself drop one of these and just have a little bit more focus based on what we saw in trends. And also, not just YouTube Trends tab, but Google Trends, right? So we could also see related videos. We could say, stop scrolling, how to create, this title isn't bad. It's just a recommendation. Bold claim hook. I could tell these are 3 it's giving. Imagine every YouTube video you uploaded generated more clicks. It's not a fantasy and has nothing to do with magic keywords. We're about to reveal the hidden, maybe. Are you tired of pouring hours into your videos only to have them vanish into the YouTube abyss? The problem isn't your content. This one's a lot better. I could say emphasize, I could tell it I want to really target that pain point because people say that they're not getting views with keywords. So let's target that. Stop blaming the algorithm. If your YouTube channel isn't growing, the harsh truth is it's your titles and thumbnails are probably holding you back. That's just factual. So this one may be a little bit better, and I can save this idea. Another thing I would say is we're looking at the new trends tab here. it also will show you different ways people are looking for. It could say, I could choose from my videos if I want to now. So if I wanted to do a follow-up to this stream, and again, I see that I am here. Oop, wrong one. I want to make sure that I take myself not so serious here. Let's go full screen. I could choose now if I want to do a follow-up. We talked a lot about video follow-ups. Click the plus. Maybe I want to do a follow-up to this stream. It gives me the video, and I can explore. But here's the problem. Couldn't get ideas. It's live. That's my guess. So let's try another video, right? I actually really enjoyed this stream. It's starting to do much better in search now. Let's see what it says about Ask Studio. Studio Analytics, decoding, it's putting stuff together for me. Beyond Studio, secret data points YouTube doesn't tell you. Small channel, big data, using Studio to outsmart competitors. Real-time Studio live stream performance hacks from the dashboard. Interesting, it says Andrew Can's AI picks. I wouldn't use that. I could also say maybe I want, metric mastery. I can explore ideas with these two things in mind, and we can go deeper. Now, a lot of times, and I've seen, things and criticism on this, is that they don't like the ideas. And to what Doc said, we're still the creatives. Some of these ideas I'm not really for. Some of them make sense, some of them really don't. Unlocking YouTube Studio, hidden metrics for explosive channel growth. I'm going to see a small part of my viewers. That's the thing. It's telling me why it could fit my channel. It's showing me some related videos. But the problem is, it's good, but it's not great. Another thing I could do, which I know a lot of these are my audience, a lot of interest in a lot of these topics, right? So it's interesting when I do something like this, right? Create thumbnails fast. And if you notice, I can now, in the ideas, I can choose the layout. I could do title only if I don't want images. I can also maybe have sketch or digital painting of the style. So there's a lot of different ways I can do this. For me, I only want titles. So future-proof your YouTube thumbnails, AI trends with Adobe Express, batch creating thumbnails, secret workflow in Adobe Express, AI-powered thumbnails, A/B testing, optimized. So see, for me, it's just a bunch of ideas, and I can save if I want to, that are kind of related, but not super. Because the thing is, it says a small part of my viewers, these are like 4 ideas in one. So it's really up to me as a creative. I don't mind the inspiration tab, but I will say, and I feel this a lot lately, that I think the inspiration tab was a little bit better in the old one. I know it'll get better. But just something to keep in mind, right? And I see there's nothing wrong with doing the same video multiple times. Food channels just did all the turkey videos, and here we are 2 weeks removed, and the turkey recipes are the whole network again. Another thing I see, Legend, I believe it? Yes, Legend. So these are just some of those easy things, right? And as we are going through keyword research, here are just some quick things to know. I actually have a method that I've used across my channels, across how I look at if a video makes sense to even talk about. Because sometimes it doesn't, and that's fine. It may not be the right fit. You got to do what you got to do. So if you're wondering, hey, how do I know that my video is going to work? How do I know that what I'm talking about has interest? Here's a method that we use over at the KDCC. It's called the KANDO Method. I should probably zoom in so you guys can see this method even more up close. And then, here's the fun part. Actually, I can just go full screen. So we're going to talk about our method we use at the KDCC, the KANDO Method. Can you read it? You should be able to now. So it is a framework that covers everything you need to grow on YouTube. Each element builds on the others. So it stands for knowledge, audience, news, data, and optimization. So you need to learn proven strategies that work right now. You need to understand who you're creating for, stay ahead of platform changes, make decisions based on evidence, and maximize every video's potential. The KANDO Method. And then we break it down, right? So knowledge, learn what actually works. YouTube growth isn't about secrets. It's about understanding the platform deeply. You can learn proven strategies that work right now, not outdated tactics from years ago. Build skills in scripting, filming, editing, and packaging. We talk about how the membership and just the free stuff helps. Understand who you're creating for. Views don't build channels, viewers do. So one-time viewers don't, but like people who view once, that doesn't matter, but multiple time viewers do. Know exactly who your ideal viewer is. Stay ahead. YouTube changes constantly. Heck, even within this, the inspiration tab changed. A/B testing changed. Who Ask Studio has access to has changed. Creators who adapt win. Period. That goes for any platform, YouTube and beyond. Know when YouTube updates its algorithm or features, understand what new formats. We help with our weekly newsletter. We talk about make decisions based on evidence. Gut feelings are nice. Data is better. I do believe this. Sometimes gut feelings can cause data predictions, though. This is just an overall thing. Don't not trust your gut. But if you're only trusting your gut and not seeing results, that's kind of what we mean. Know which metrics actually matter. Hint, it's not just views. I mean this to my core. Read your analytics to understand what's working. Test systematically instead of guessing. Testing systematically is when you trust that gut. Optimization. Great content with bad packaging fails. Optimization is the difference between being seen and being skipped. Craft titles that earn clicks, design thumbnails that stop the scroll, write descriptions. I could change tags. I should probably say transcripts that help YouTube understand your content. I'll update that in a bit. But I put that there just because I know people search for it, but I actually think I'll change that to just, I'm going to make that transcript. But this is just kind of how we help it. You can actually, this is an interactive checklist I made, and I actually did make this. Spent way too long not knowing how to code. Decided to teach myself. So if you are making a video, ask yourself these questions and follow along. Am I using current proven YouTube strategies? I am. Does my ideal viewer actually want this content? You guys do want this content. News. Am I aware of recent platform changes? Boy, I am. We're going to click on that. Data. What does my YouTube analytics say about similar videos? Well, in the past for YouTube thumbnails, I've done well. In the past for how to make channels, I've done well. Is my YouTube title, thumbnail, and description optimized for search? I also need to add to this, and is it compelling? But we're going to say it is. If all those are true, you're ready to publish. And that's the KANDO Method. If you've never heard it, if this is the first time you've heard of the KANDO Method, something we actually use, all the time. And yes, algorithm equals audience. I resonate with N, says Doug. Doug does a lot of news content. Not to be confused with the KANDO Method. Candy. Fair enough. But I say all this to say that, like, at the end of the day, if you're doing YouTube, and if you've done it for any long periods of time, whether you do keyword research or not, I would highly encourage you, look up if there's interest in what you want to talk about, because if there isn't, you can't be surprised if it's only you watching. And sometimes you might be on a trend early. So if something's trending and you've talked about it before, link to that video in the description, link to it in video and card, pin it in the comment of old videos. Be proactive. Don't just think that trends and keywords are for existing videos or old videos. They're also for existing, is what I meant to say. Keywords and trends can be for your older content, and you can actually reactivate older content by following up with a new piece of content. If you do this correctly, you're going to do a lot better on the platform. You're going to get yourself in front of more people, and you see that with impressions. And if you do the title and the thumbnail, and if it's compelling and if it interests people enough, you can earn views. And more importantly, the video is good enough, you're going to earn watch time. So if you are ready to get started, you should definitely check out that video on screen. I've appreciated each and every one of you watching this far into the replay. I'm Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too. Thanks for watching.